let's take a look at Netanyahu and what he had to say about Charlie Kirk. Well, this is a very discursive, very Jewish show we're doing tonight.
Yeah.
You have your own memories of Charlie
Right to
Kirk.
left.
Please share them.
Well, Harris, before I do that, I have to say that we're just heartbroken. Myself, my wife, my family, my son, actually, on his 2019 visit to Israel, had lunch with him and his wife, Erica. We're shattered first as human beings because a great human being has been taken from us. Was an extraordinary friend. He said, he wrote me a letter on May 2nd this year. He said, one of my greatest joys as a Christian is advocating for Israel and forming alliances to defend Judeo-Christian civilization. A few weeks before the tragedy yesterday, I called him and I spoke to him and I said, please come to Israel. I invited him to Israel. And sadly, that visit will not take place. But he was a defender of our common Judeo-Christian civilization. He was unbelievably excited to walk in the footsteps of Jesus here. He valued our bond, the bond between America and Israel. He did so many things to defend free speech. He had his truth. He stood up for it. But he said, you can come and debate me. He invited that debate. He certainly didn't invite the violence, the horrible violence that tried to silence him. And, this is a worldwide problem. The people on the extremes, the Islamists, the radical Islamists, and their union with the ultra progressives, they often speak about human rights. They speak about free speech, but they use violence to try to take down their enemies. Whether
unlike Israel, which uses discourse.
It's President Trump who's been almost assassinated twice, or they try to kill me here too. But they got Charlie Kirk, and it's just heartbreaking.
Yeah, the young people in both our countries look to him, and I don't know what is being said with regard to that.
Anyway, there's glomming, and then he tries to compare him to his brother who was killed. And then, speaking of Zionism and how they're contributing to anti-Semitism, I do want to give a shout out to Bari Weiss. I guess there was an editorial published by the Free Press. Let's look at what she said about, so she quotes some people. She names some people, right? She goes, the acceleration of political violence has been frightening, from the attack on the Capitol in January 2021 to the murder of a healthcare executive, allegedly by Luigi Mangione, to the attempted assassinations of Trump, to the killing of Yaron Leshensky and Sarah Milgram outside the Capitol Jewish Museum in Washington, D.C., to the shooting of state lawmakers in Minnesota, and now Kirk's murder. But what stood out to me is she doesn't even say the names of the murdered Minnesota lawmakers, which right. I just thought was kind of don't you want to just Melissa Hortman and Mark Hortman? Why don't you just give them the,
because it doesn't fit the argument.
Yeah. So I don't know. There's her. So we got her. We got Netanyahu.
Well, we just saw Netanyahu has been talking quite a bit about Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
As Max speculated, seemingly perhaps overcompensating.
Right.
For something. He has been very vocal about Charlie Kirk since his death. And of course, that only adds to my suspicions.
Yeah, it is weird that he's on such a press tour, full press.
Yeah, and Tucker Carlson called this out. Tucker Carlson said to JD Vance, because JD Vance did the sort of commemorative Charlie Kirk podcast, and he had Tucker on, and Tucker said, it's disgusting for world leaders to try and, go out and then claim that Charlie's legacy is their own, and a clear, unmistakable dig at Netanyahu.
Right.
Which was ballsy to say that to the vice president's face. So good on him for that. But it's not subtle. And Tucker is not unaware of the conversation going on around this. So for him to bring that up was pretty intentional.
Well, that's where you could see the dam breaking. Candace showed that clip also and said, I'm not saying the two lines in the letter are not there. Why don't you release the whole letter? Because you're not telling the whole story. And she said it in a way that it seemed like she has personal knowledge of what was written in that letter. And she was strongly implying Netanyahu in that interview.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
He holds up the letter and he reads some of it. And Candace Owens said, why don't you release the whole thing? Because you're being very selective in what you're reading from that.
Yeah, and it's interesting. You know, it's lucky for Netanyahu now. He has an excuse for him not coming to Israel, right? Now it'll never happen because he's dead. As opposed to,
well, according to the reporting, you know, he was invited. Netanyahu invited him, and he turned him down.
Yeah. And then let's see. You have some great videos that you sent to us.
Well, Destiny's banned from Twitch. Elon must have said some shit to Twitch that got their eye, and they apparently banned Destiny for hateful conduct. That seems to be what the story is now, because he says, unreal, Elon and other conservatives just got me banned from Twitch. My entire income is gone. So much for the party of free speech. Which, this is the guy who went to Israel and coached the IDF soldiers on how to not film.
Well, I sent them that video.
Yeah. Israel has unique issues. Here's the one piece of advice I'll give you, okay? If you're joining the IDF, okay? Leave your fucking cell phone at home and stop taking stupid fucking videos, okay? Because everybody's fucking you with them, okay? And if you see a soldier, okay, going through a fucking drawer, and listen, if you want to fucking wear a dress and you think it's funny, just don't fucking take a fucking video picture of it, okay? Jesus.
Did he forget to tell people to put away their phones while he was speaking?
Yeah, that's the irony.
Yeah,
that's the irony. And
perhaps, Mr. Borelli, you're familiar with the phrase "what goes around comes around." It's another word for it called karma. You can look it up on Wikipedia sometime.
Like, who thinks like that? Who thinks like, hey, guys, don't film your war crimes?
Yeah, exactly. And also, let's joke about it.
I'm no expert on it, obviously, but would advising war criminals on how to get away from war crimes in itself be a crime? It just feels to me like that should probably be a crime.
Yeah.
I don't know though.
Well, I think it depends on what jurisdiction you're in. Yeah. I would say probably if you were being prosecuted as an American, it would be protected by the First Amendment.
Right.
But
I bet they loved him. He's probably the first guy to be kicked out of Israel for being too annoying, too overbearing. This is.
Well, he can do porn with his ex-wife now, right?
Yeah.
You have the ex-wife doing porn.
Wait, what is that?
He had like his wife was doing porn.
Right. I heard.
Yeah, that was where I first saw this guy, because he would go on those shows where you got like 10 chuds and 3 strippers talking about sex.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And like his wife was doing porn or something. It was a whole thing. That was like a viral clip. That was when I first saw him.
When was
I first became this is a few years ago.
Oh, wow.
A few years ago. I think they split up.
That's too bad. It couldn't have happened to a nicer war crimes covering Zionists.
I mean, it seemed like such a healthy relationship.